Should be a great one. But let us start out with our first topic. It's going to be all NFL everything, ladies and gentlemen. If you're planning to listen to the Wizards or me talk about any other sport other than football, forget about it. All right, I'm going to steal a New York term. Because when you have two miracles at the Meadowlands in New York, us being the Philadelphia Eagles, then you get to steal their terms because we steal wins from them. Twice, as a matter of fact. That's documented in the Hall of Fame books. Yes, okay. I did say that.
You can take those wins.
How about them Eagles, DJ Chris?
How about
37-9. Let's talk about this.
With those two Super Bowls.
Do not talk over me.
Two miracles. I just talked over you.
Don't talk over me.
It's easy to talk over you. You're short.
Okay, go back to being fantasizically objective.
Okay.
All right, how about them Eagles? 37-9. Let's talk about this game.
Yeah.
All right, this game was a tale of two halves. First half, the Eagles moved on to 9-1. They are now they won 8 straight games. The last time the Eagles started out 9-1, it was a season that it ended bittersweet. That 2004 season where we did wind up making the Super Bowl and losing to the eventual New England Patriots.
Does this sound familiar?
No, because nobody on that team, oh my God, what, Donovan McNabb
throwing up in the huddle?
I can't do with you. And then Terrell Owens playing on 6 screws in his knees. Legend.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. They just care about that.
What do you mean? All the Patriots called him out, said he was one of the greatest performances they had ever seen. Teddy Bruschi asked him. Rodney Harrison asked him. Anyway, we're getting ahead of us. They're starting 9-1. As I mentioned, this was a tale of two halves. First half, Dallas was up 9-7. Their defense kind of stifled the Eagles. The Eagles, who had led the league in third down conversion percentage, was 0 for 6 in that first half, and that was kind of a telling tale of why the Cowboys had a 9-7 lead. They were playing without Zeke. As I told you, it would be a big deal a few weeks ago when you said it would be no big deal that he's out. And okay, you mentioned this too. One of their best offensive linemen, probably the best left tackle in the league, Dallas Cowboys, were playing without one, also Tyrone Smith. Mm-hmm. And their best middle linebacker, probably the best middle linebacker in the league, Sean Lee, was out as well for the Cowboys. And it showed in the second half. But second half, we outscored the Cowboys 30-0, shut them out in the second half. And, it was kind of a subpar pedestrian night for Carson Wentz. He's only 14-27, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the running game was phenomenal. They had 180 yards in that second half. Jay Ajayi, I don't know what the heck the Miami Dolphins were thinking, trading him to us for only a second-round pick and scraps. But he had a big game, 7 attempts for 91 yards. LeGarrette Blount did his thing, adding another 57, and Chris Clement had another 50 to go along with the touchdown. So we have a 3-headed monster there at the running back position. Receivers doing what they do. As I mentioned, Carson Wentz didn't have the greatest game, but Alshon Jeffrey did have 67 yards in the touchdown. And Dak Prescott had probably one of, if not the worst game of his career to date. It was only 18-31 for 145 yards and 3 interceptions, 2 of those coming in the first half, but the Eagles did not capitalize on them. The running game did all right. I'm not going to lie. Alfred Morris was 17 for 91, but when you get outscored 30-0, you kind of have to abandon the running game, and you saw that happen. So, what are your thoughts? I'll start off with you. I am actually repping my Eagles jersey today. It's not a Carson Wentz jersey, but it is one Michael Vick jersey. But go ahead, tell me your thoughts on this game and what this game means moving forward.
Well, I mean, it definitely solidifies the Eagles' number 1 spot in the NFC East.
You know why I've been hesitant to boast about the Eagles all year? Because I've seen this happen time and time again in NFL history. Specifically my Eagles, when we started out 3-0 last year, and then we stumbled to a 7-9 record towards the end of the year. The Minnesota Vikings a couple years ago, starting out the season 5-0, and then finishing, I believe it was 7-9, 8-8, and then. So I didn't want to get my hopes. I didn't want to start boasting about the Eagles until we solidified that we would have a record above 500, and now with 9 wins, we did that. So now I can safely say that. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs. I can safely, I believe I could safely say we're going to at least make the playoffs.
Unless you guys end up losing every single game.
It's possible because we've done it and we've seen it throughout NFL history. But go ahead on this.
It definitely, like, you remember what I said last week? I said this game is going to be a big game. It definitely, if the Cowboys won, it would have put them in a good position to win the.
They're out of it now, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're out of it.
The division. The division, dude.
Yes. Yeah, the division,
there is no. But I don't see it happening.
This definitely, like I said,
because we got to play them again, and they're not going to have Zeke again.
They're not?
No, they're not having him for the entirety. He's out for 6 games, so the entirety of the regular season. If they make the playoffs, Zeke will be back.
Yeah.
But how legit are they? Super Bowl contenders in the NFC.
The Eagles?
Yeah. How legit are they?
I mean, the only other team I can see that can compete against them is the Saints.
Panthers.
I don't see the Panthers.
We beat them already this year, but it was a close game.
But it's just Saints. I can't. I don't know. It's between those two in the NFC. But then again, it's like you said. The Eagles will end up losing to whoever in the wild card is if they make.
Yeah, but then
if you guys make, I mean,
I don't know about that. You know why? Card. Because this is probably the most complete team I've seen since that 04
you
season.
Guys said the same thing.
I'm saying complete
with Vic and everything like
that.
No,
I'm saying no. I didn't say. I didn't think that was a complete team. I think this is more of a complete team because their defense. The legendary defensive coordinator Jim Johnson, that passed away, God rest his soul, for the Eagles. When we had him, we were flying high on defense. We were one of the most feared defensive teams in the league. And the reason I say this is the most complete team I've seen is because we are one of the best teams on defense and also on offense. This is unheard of. When Michael Vick was doing his thing back in 2010, and you remember that miracle he had, it was really offense or bust. For us, I mean, we had playmakers on defense, Asante Samuels of the world, the Trent Coles of the world, things like that. But this is the most complete Eagles team I can recall since that 04 season. It's hard for me to say that with the second-year quarterback. But that's why I say that we can win a game on even if our offense struggles, because our defense can hold down the fort. It's
like what they say: offense wins games, but defense wins championships.
Right, and we do have the pass rush to do that. Fletcher Cox has been a beast. I mean, Brandon Graham has been a beast coming off the edge. I mean,
let me ask
Rodney McLeod.
Let me ask you this:
Rodney Darby, one of the best corners in the league.
You think could stop the Eagles?
The reason I bring it up is because I look at it the other way around. What team in the NFC can you legitimately say is better than the Eagles?
I mean, you can make the argument the Saints.
But legitimately, like no question, like if they meet up in the playoffs, it's like you can clearly see the Saints winning. Like you will give the Saints 100% chance.
No, I'm saying like a 90. I wouldn't give anybody 100%.
But I'm saying
chance.
Can you give a team more than a 55 to 60% chance of beating the? I'm saying more than that. There's no team you can look at and say they're legitimately better than the Eagles. That's why, because the teams are down. I would normally say the Seahawks. If the Seahawks were 100% healthy, if the Seahawks were 100% healthy, I would say them because they're seasoned. They've been to the Super Bowl 2 times in this era, the Russell Wilson and Legion of Boom era. They know how to do it.
And
how to win in the
their regular season usually is not the best record.
Right.
And they heat up in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, but at the same time, the home field advantage isn't locked in yet. We still got. I mean, we're only a game ahead of the Saints who've won 8 straight, and this is the first time the Saints have won 8 straight since their Super Bowl winning year since 2000.
Nasty.
Yeah. But I think they're legit. This team is a 3-headed monster running back. Even without Jason Peters, our line is doing all right.
Well, see, that's the key to win, not just games, but win championships.
His running game, and we have 3.
And controlling the offensive line.
3, yeah.
And controlling the offensive line.
Right.
Whether on offense or on defense. And that's the key to winning games and winning championships.
Yeah.
Every team that that has won a championship is because, I mean, the Falcons did give that up, but but most of the time it's those 2 main factors, the running game and control of the offensive line.
Yeah. So they're
and so they have, as much as it hurts me and pains me and my stomach really hurts, I feel like throwing up and I don't really feel too good saying this. The Eagles are probably the best, if the best team in the NFC East or in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even probably in the NFL at the moment.
And we got Chicago next week at home,
and then
at Seattle, at LA. I mean, we can afford a couple of blips.
Yeah, you can.
But I just don't want to head into the playoffs on a losing streak. That's the only issue I would have. But that's about it. Other than that, I came in with the season with no expectations whatsoever. And the reason I'm so high on this team is because there is no dominant team in the NFC.
Except for the Saints.
No, I'm saying dominant where you say, okay. They're you're not going to beat them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just how I look at it. You could say NFL. There's no dominant team in the NFL. I mean,
Giants.
Oh, here we go.